Well. A very good Thursday to you all, my friends. Hope you're safe. Let me just straighten that up a bit. There we go. Russ on the West Ham Network. I hope you will. I hope your Thursday's going swimmingly. I know it's early doors, but we'll have Graham Potter press conference. Graham Potter press conference. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Later on, so we're doing the synopsis. Yep, synopsis, that's the right word, of that, Hammers headlines and everything else. And then we'll start having the all the fun of the fair leading up to the game against Arsenal on Saturday. What could possibly go wrong? So we'll have the stat attack. We'll have the starting 11 show and hopefully be doing a watch along and the review show afterwards. So plenty to come on the West Ham Network. Next week, my friends, we have a very special My Hammers 11 in more ways than one. You'll have to see it to believe it. But that should be on sometime next week. So keep an eye on the channel. Also keep an eye on the channel because tonight we might do the Ludic McCluskey Appreciation Night as well with Martin Godwin, the voice of West Ham. Just waiting to hear back from him. He's a bit of a diva like that. But today's video is all about the kids. The kids are united. And I started playing that song again because to me that really does invoke a feeling of the kids being united. Now I know as a fan base as a whole, there's there's a lot of apathy towards West Ham at the moment, but one thing we can be excited about is our academy. And actually, this came out from someone who messaged me directly and said they'd love to, obviously, love the show, love the academy show on a Monday, 6 p.m. UK time. Only channel to dedicate a show just for the academy because I love the show. But what I'd like to know, Russ, is rather than just necessarily about what's happening now, what do you think's happening next season? And it sort of made sense, We've got loads of players leaving potentially. We've got players who might be sold. We're scrabbling around the back of the sofa, as I said, for a couple of quid to put towards the Potter budget. Could the academy help us out? And who could step up? Now, I think I just want to preface this a little bit because I think in terms of Potter, I think he's come into this at the right time. I was talking to some people yesterday about the academy, and I was saying, it was a no-brainer for him to come in and start playing Ollie Scars, to come in and start giving Caelan Casey minutes, to start coming in and giving Lewis Orford his debut. West Ham really hasn't got anything to play for this season, in all honesty. Bar a miracle, we ain't going to get into Europe this year. We're not going to go down unless there's a complete downturn in form and someone in the bottom three decides they're going to get 9 points than us, or 10 points, that's what it is. So in a sort of status, so it's not a fantastic opportunity for him to get the fans on board by playing the academy. And the academy is obviously a massive part of what is West Ham. Where I would suggest if he came into the side 8th, well, actually, probably wouldn't come into the side 8th, would he? Because he'd probably still with Lopetegui. But if it was in different circumstances, you might not have seen so many minutes for everyone, for example. But there was a real buzz around the place. Obviously, everyone knows the stuff I do with the academy. There is a buzz. You can feel it. You can feel it. A lot more excitement around the academy at Rush Green at the games than I did under Lopetegui. And whether it's coincidental, I don't know. But obviously, we went through a period, beginning of the season, under 21s, lost 7 or 8 in a row. They've won 5 on the spin now. Is it the Potter? I'm not saying it is, but is it? It's just a coincidence, maybe. But I think Potter's now come into a situation at West Ham with the academy where we're getting it right. We're getting the conveyor belt right. We're getting players who can be presented into the pathway. And for those who don't know what the pathway is, it's sort of the loose term we've been saying from, they've been saying from getting the academy players into the first team. And I think a key sort of example of that is, hopefully the imminent announcement of Daniel Cummings coming to West Ham in the summer on a pre-season contract from Celtic. And we are led to believe, according to reports, according to sources, that part of the pitch to get him to come to West Ham was an understanding that he would be involved in the first team. He wouldn't be stuck in the 21s. And, the idea is he'll be fast-tracked into the first team. We obviously... And also, you got the likes of Josh Landers, who we bought from Hibernian. We've got an Hibernian, who scored at the weekend in his first game. We seem to be starting... We've got Mamadou Kante from Paris FC. Remember him? Bought him in the summer. That was going to happen with him next summer, but he's a brute. And actually, thinking about it, thinking out loud now, we're crying out for some an energetic, athletic box, central defender, central defensive midfielder. That could be your man. He's a unit, and I've just thought about that. There we go. Problem solved. Problem solved, Potter. But there's obviously, and I think until probably this batch of 18s and 21s, I don't think we've had a situation where we've got not just players who could potentially push into the first team this next season, but the season after that. We've got some really good players, in the 18s who are literally just turning 17, 18, who could potentially be at the club for, they could be in the first team for 10 years, they easily, if they have a good career. And I don't think we've had that situation. We've had one or two maybe who could possibly, but then they fade away. Someone gets in their ear, and then we have a Harrison Ashby situation, a Sonny Perkins situation, Jeremy Ngakia. The list goes on. But I'm not being funny. I think the academy get it right 99% of the time. Not being funny, I haven't heard a fucking word about what Martin Samuelson's doing, what Armstrong Ockerflex is doing, Nathan Holland's doing. Yes, I know what Tony Martinez is doing, but I don't know what. Can't think of any now. But I went through a list the other day, a list of all the players we've released from the academy, and can't say one of them's bitten us on the arse just yet. And to be honest, someone like, Harrison Ashby, you got to think now is at an age where he should be playing regular first team football if he wants to be in the Premier League, but he ain't. And now they've got Livramento at Newcastle. He's not going to get any minutes there either, really. And sometimes the grass isn't greener. And sometimes, and I think I am just as guilty as other people. And I maybe since I've been more entrenched with the academy, it's probably opened my eyes a little bit. Sometimes the players aren't up to it. They're just not up to it. They might be good at their level, but they're not ready for the step up into the first team at West Ham. They might be ready for the step up in a Doncaster United, no disrespect to Doncaster Rovers, but someone like that, or something, or AC Wimbledon, or Colchester, or Orient, but not the step up to the Premier League. You've got to be that bit special, as I said, and I've said it till I'm blue in the face. 97% of Premier League academy graduates never play 1 minute of a Premier League football. That's mental. But I think we're very fortunate. I think Potter's very fortunate. The fact that we've got some good academy players coming through, and we've got a system that's working now. We're regularly recruiting players who are from other sides. We've got obviously we signed David Chigueda, who's in the 18s now from Man City. He's a hot prospect, not necessarily for next year, but I think in the coming years. David Bulligan as well from Man United. Obviously Josh Landers. We've got Brad Dolligan from Worthing. Who's gone out on loan on Aldershot. And I was looking at, I don't know how many players we've got out on loan now in the academy, but it's a fair few than we've probably had for a long time. I'm just going to count them out quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, there'll be 9 because Michael Forbes is coming back because he's got an injury, bless him. So his loan spell with Colchester United has been cut short. We're led to be believed. It's a shame because he, for me, is that gritty defender that we need, which we've missed since Craig Dawson. And no disrespect to Caelan, but he's not it. But Michael Forbes was, and I'd rather pick a fit Michael Forbes to go into the West Ham side than a fit Caelan Casey, if that makes sense. And that's another thing as well. With the Potter era now, he's playing the same formation as what the 18s and 21s are playing. So if an Ollie Scars comes in, or Lewis Orford, which he did, He knows exactly the position he's playing. He's not having to adapt to playing the 4-2-3-1 formation, which he had to do under David Moyes, and he had to do under Julian Lopetegui. So I think Potter is very fortunate in that respect as well, because we have players ready in who can do a job. But who are those players going to be? Who are the names you're going to know and go, do you know what? Russ was right. And I'm not 100% right all the time. I'm wrong quite often. Instead, I sometimes put academy players on a pedestal, thinking they're better than they are, and actually they don't make the grade. I was a big fan of Harrison Ashby. I really was. Anton's a big fan of Ajay Alese. You know, at the moment they're playing Championship football. I think is he at QPR on loan now, Harrison, and Ajay is at Sunderland. I think he's I thought Dan Chesters might have been a creeper last year. No, the season before last. You know, because he was a right wing converted to a right back. I thought right backs. You know, we hadn't got Wan-Bissaka. We needed a right back, and I thought Dan Chesters could do a job, and didn't work out. Didn't work out. So pathway players. Now, obviously, I've already assumed that Ollie's not just a pathway player. Now, Ollie is going to be first team player, and I think there's only a matter of time, in my humble opinion, that you'll see him take over from Emerson as. Oh, let me just move Anton's thing from Lawson. There we go. He takes over from Emerson as the first choice left back rather, or left wing back rather. I think he's and again, Potter's coming to a situation where Ollie's had another 18 months on him than when Moyes first saw eyes on him, or 12 months since Moyes last saw eyes on him. So, you know, he's matured a lot. He's actually moved, as I said, he's been playing in central midfield as well. So that's aided his game. He's played alongside Lewis quite a bit for the 21s. So that sort of gives his ball control, is the way he brings the ball forward, a lot more confidence now, and he's a better player for it. As I said, he'll be a cornerstone of our back five for a long time to come. West Ham boy through and through, and a lovely dad as well. Really nice guy. Now he's going to be joined, and I sort of count him in the academy, although he's not really in the academy now because he's too young, by Freddie Potts. Now, what I'm saying about Freddie Potts is, again, we're shitting ourselves about getting a CDM next year. There's your man. He's he's probably, by the time Plate comes back from Pompey, 80, 90, 100 appearances maybe. He had a whole season at Wickham. Yes, say 80 appearances or something like that, under his belt, ready to roll. And he has developed. And also, you can tell the club have got an eye on him. I mean, the club spent quite a bit of money putting that little video together of him he did last week. They would have done that about, no disrespect again, but to Patrick or someone like, they've got high hopes for Freddie, and you can see that. And I think them two will be a regular feature in the starting 11, not just a matchday squad, but I think they'll be a regular feature in the starting 11. As I said, and someone like Ollie could save us a little bit more money, because actually bringing Ollie in could mean potentially moving Emerson out. You know, it was talks of going back to Roma, and we've got players to bring in from the academy to bring in there. So those two, I think, are definitely going to be featured next season. And then you've got other pathway players. So we've got Lewis and Kalen. Now, I think Lewis, in terms of my humble opinion, next season, I think he should get on loan. He should do a Freddie Potts. I don't think he needs 2 years to cut his teeth. I think 1 year, and could you imagine him? We could have a midfield of Lewis Orford and Freddie Potts. The West Ham old boys would be coming in their pants when they're ready. And then Cummings will be playing as well. So there we go. I think he'll definitely would benefit. You know, he's now on Friday he played against Blackburn, best player on the pitch. One of his best games was bringing the ball. He seemed a lot more aggressive going forward on the ball as well, which was great to see. And I think, but I think in that midfield position, you need a bit of bulk, and you need to go out on loan and get some minutes. I just think you do. Kalen, I think Kalen needs minutes as well. I think he needs minutes out on loan as well. But I think those two will be, if they don't go out on loan, I think they'll be sort of in the squad, so to speak. but I don't, and they'd be coming on as subs or playing cup games. You know what I mean? If I don't think they'll be knocking on the door for a first team start yet. Lewis, obviously, I've seen him for a few years now, and he's by far one of the classiest players I've seen. But within, and again, I'm going to caveat that within his age group. And that's the thing now. It's all within his age group. I shared a picture. I don't know if I've still got it actually, which Izzy Itkupen sent on his Instagram about where was it? About a reserve team match he went to, or he was playing him. And look at this. Let me just bring up the brightness, because I only found out the other day. If you turn my brightness down, my battery doesn't go down so quickly. There we go. Little life hack for everyone. Now, I'm going to just show you this quickly. So, look at that Chelsea side. This is a reserve league match. So you've got Ed De Hoy, Alva Ferreira, Bogart, John Terry, Dalabonna, Moses, Carlton Cole, Zola, Zenden on the bench. You had Philippe Villiers. He played, didn't he, a few games. Then Pidgely, he had a decent career, if I remember. On the West Ham, it's Scott Minto, Reggie Zoma, Izzy, Steve Potts, Billy. You had Laurent Courtois, Omar Reza, Sean Byrne, Leon Britton, Glenn Johnson, Elliot Ward, Anton Fernand. And that was just a reserve team game. So no wonder these guys were physically developed quicker, and there was a shorter lead time between finishing youth team football and getting into the first team, or knocking on the door of the first team, because they were because Izzy would be playing against Zola on a Tuesday night, rather than playing against somebody he played against for the last 10 years in his age group. So that's the issue I think we have, particularly in some positions. Now, in terms of others, again, I don't think any of these will be a massive surprise to people who have watched the Academy show regular. Also, special mentions. We've got George. He'll be coming back. Whether he goes back out on loan, I don't know. I think that's dependent on what we. Well, I just be interested to see how he would fit into Potter's system. I'm sure you guys will tell me where he could fit in. But I think it's dependent on the outs, who goes out. If we get rid of Kudus and say Paqueta, for example, then we'll be a bit short in that department. So someone like George coming into, I think Callum. To be honest, I think the whole thing, and again, it's just my opinion, but I think the whole thing with, Daniel Cummings and coming in, so to speak, has sort of put him above the pecking order in terms of Callum. Callum will score goals in any division he plays in. He's just that type of player. And I think I could see him probably go back out on loan maybe next season. He obviously signed a new deal before he went out to West Brom, so he's still got another 18 months, I think, on his contract next year. So be interested to see what happens with that as well. And there's plenty of others guys that like PK, Mason, Regan, Gideon as well. But I just think those two may well not suffer the shuffle, but I think it's what pieces that Potter needs to put into the squad. As I said, if we sell a couple of flamboyant side, the more stylish players, then I could see George hanging around, so to speak, and knocking on that door. But again, we'll wait and see. I think, again, he hasn't really had a great time at Bristol. He's been injured. He's been in and out when he's played. The fans love him. The fans want him to play more. But needs must for the manager as well. Now we've got my wild card choices for next season. Christian Hegge's back out on loan on Debrecen in Hungary, and the goalkeeper situation is a situation we need to address. I'm not saying that Christian Hegge's going to come in and be first team goalkeeper next year, but I think he could come in and be a good number 2. That to me would look like what they were trying to give him an idea of when he was at Motherwell. He went to Motherwell beginning the first half of the season and was basically the reserve team goalkeeper, the number 2, not reserve team, but the number 2 goalkeeper. And you got a feeling that was almost like saying, well, this is what you're probably going to be like next year. And now he's gone to Debrecen to get some minutes under his belt. Junior Robinson. This is the guy I've been back. This is like my new Harris Nashby. He's my new obsession in terms of the 21s. And anyone who watches the Academy show knows I'm a massive fan of his. I just think he's got it all in his locker. He's got all the attributes in his locker to be a first class right wing back, right back. He's brilliant. I just think he's got pace. He's the only thing, he's a little bit too aggressive at times, but I don't know whether I'd want that taken out of his game, because that might be what drives him. We'll see how he turns out for Sutton United. He played the first game, didn't play the second game, but we'll see. But I think he's, when you're looking at people and pieces being moved, if, for example, we decide to not offer Vladimir Sufal one new extension to his contract, which is due to run out this season, then Junior Robinson, for me, could easily slip in and be Aaron Wan-Bissaka's understudy, without a shadow of a doubt. And you see a bloody good player there. And he'd learn a lot under Wan-Bissaka. He's got his great ability to be 3 yards behind a player, and the player gets the ball, and he's right next to him. That he gets quick, he gets so close, so touch tight, innit? Touch tight so quickly. It 9 times out of 10 it shocks. You see the right back. Oh, fuck, he's right onto him. So those are my wild card choices. And then what's next? And this is the key. This is why I'm excited about the Academy and West Ham. Is it's not just this year's batch. We've got, I picked 4 there who could easily be future stars at West Ham. And some maybe even earlier than others. We've got on the left-hand side Emeka Adiele. Now, he's playing fantastically for the 21s. As a sort of left wing back, he absolutely ran Blackburn right back ragged the whole game. And that's what I'm saying. You could potentially, again, this is in an ideal world, if you're trying to, you could let Emerson go and promote Adiele into the left wing back, understudy to Ollie Scholes. He is rapid, really raw, and I think you've got a very special player on our hands there if we just mould him correctly. Next on, you got my boy Edges Golombekis, Guardian, rising star in the top 20 they did last year. And we've had guys like Lewis Orford, and I think Ollie's been in there as well. I think Caelan's been there as well. If Graham Potter is around for the long term, which is what the club hope he is, he will be a perfect Graham Potter centre half. And what I'm seeing now is, because obviously now he's being drafted into the 21s, he's playing against older people, and he doesn't look out of place. And that's what I like to see. He played he comes on and plays like alongside Louise Owl. And we haven't mentioned Louise Owl. I still think he'll probably go in the summer, but I think he's a really special player. Alongside, I'm gonna miss out Pit Preston. Go to Ezra. So Ezra as well, Ezra Mayers, another centre half. Anyone who saw the Man United under 18s Premier League Cup viral clip when he's running, that's the boy. And he's again a very, very good defender. Stocky, fast, good on the ball. I think Edris is a little bit better. He's much better on the ball, but I think where Ezra has pure power, he's a big, powerful lad. And again, I think you could see him being the next pathway. And that's what I mean. We're getting this sort of conveyor belt going, which is for me really encouraging to see. And then in the middle, you've got those two. I think the two in the middle, my stars, the crowns. But you've got Preston Fearon. I'll tell you what, this boy, I haven't figured out how Potter would play him, but he has got a footballing brain on him that is years above his age. On Friday, it was him and Lewis in the midfield too, and I was like, if that was a sign of things to come with maybe Freddie Potts, I tell you what, Tell you what, his range of passing is phenomenal, and he always looks like he's knackered. He has he sort of has this really sort of looks like he's running really slowly, but he's not. And he did. There was some balls he did on Friday which were just like outside the left foot, right into the pass of Amika. He sees. He's got really fantastic vision, and I think again it's how they're crafted and how we envisage, or how the academy envisages, or how more than likely how Potter envisages the likes of them coming into the side. That's what I mean. The kids are united. The kids are united. So hopefully that answers your question. You know who you are, who mentioned it. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And hopefully everyone else enjoyed that as well. Not just one person. But if you do have anything you want us to talk about, if you do have a burning issue or a subject or something that maybe we spoke about, you want to talk about in more detail, let us know. We're all ears. We're all ears. I'm going to do a tongue-in-cheek little video tomorrow, I think, for the morning show. Got an idea, playing it in my mind. I think it'll be quite funny. And as I said, we've got some really cool stuff coming up next week. Obviously, we've got the game on Thursday. And well, either side of that, I don't know what date it's going to be. I'm still waiting for the confirmation what day, but we'll have a very special Miami's 11. Don't know how it's going to go. All I'm saying is I'm lucky that we're doing it over video, not face-to-face. That's all I'm saying. And until next time, we'll be back later on with the Graham Potter press conference and all the fun of the fair and Hammer's headlines. Loads to talk about. There is a lot to talk about. Really interesting interview from JWP as well. He said about Graham Potter's tactics, which we might talk about a bit more. Maybe Hammer's headlines, maybe. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody irons. Irons! Irons! Irons!